What to do.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to our kitchen.
This is Mary.
I'm Linda.
Sister's in the kitchen.
I'm going to wash my hands real quick here.
Okay.
And
I
we're
just
making
washed mine.
We're making a real quick and easy dessert. And it's called pineapple pound cake. And I know the first thing y'all going to say, oh, we've been wanting a pound cake recipe. This is not your regular pound cake. In fact, it doesn't even have the consistency of a pound cake.
No, but they're delicious.
Don't know who named this recipe, but it is really good.
Yes,
so we're going to start with a very simple cake mix. This one that I'm using is a French vanilla, but you can use any flavor. So we're going to put our cake mix in here. And Mary, if you'll measure me 8 ounces of the crushed pineapple. Try not to put any excess juice in it. It don't matter if it's got a little in it, but just try not to put any excess in it.
Okay.
And put my scissors up here. And these are so good, Mary. Remember, I've made these for you before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I'd say, Linda, these are the best pineapple cupcakes I've ever eaten because they are delicious. I like pineapple.
They're so moist, they actually glisten. That's how moist they are.
Very, very moist.
So I've got my cake mix in here. This is just a regular standard cake mix. I think it's, what, 15 ounces? Yeah, 15 quarter ounces. And then...
Linda, how much did you say?
8 ounces.
8 ounces.
So it'll be the whole, up to...
I see. Yeah, cup.
So...
I don't want to be in your way. Can you see her?
You're good. So we're going to put a cup of vegetable oil in here, and don't freak out. I know that's a lot of oil, but it needs the oil. So we're going to measure a cup in these little easy read measuring cups. We're going to measure 1 cup, and I always use good oil. I either use Wesson or Crisco, and I have tried store brands before, and I don't like them. So I use Wesson or Crisco. And this happens to be Wesson. So I'm going to pour my oil in here. And this is just, it's not a dump cake, but it's so easy to make. It kind of reminds you of a dump cake. And glaze on it. And we're going to show you how to do that. It's very simple. So I'm going to add my 4 eggs. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Make sure you use...
Linda, that was nearly the whole can.
Was it nearly the whole can?
Oh, don't have much left.
Okay.
Just set your pineapple aside.
Yeah, I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to put the pineapple in it. So I'm probably talking fast, like I'm in a hurry.
Slow down, Linda.
I'm not in a hurry.
Slow down. She's got a lot to do today, but we'll get it done. So just slow down.
For all of y'all out there that think Texans talk slow, y'all just hadn't met the Pinkston sisters because we don't talk slow.
That's right. We talk fast and we walk fast when our bones let us.
When I was in an airport one time in, I think I was in Baltimore at BWI, and we had been to a training, and some of the people, we were always supervisors, and there was some of the people there that we had, our staff was there, and when we got to the gate, this woman drove up. She walked up about 5 minutes behind me, and she said, Linda, she said, you walk with a purpose. She said, I've never seen anybody walk that fast before. but it's just who we are.
Yeah. Well, I grew up having to walk fast, and I'll tell you why. It's because I followed my big brother around Charles, and he took huge steps. And for me to be able to keep up with him, I had to almost run. And he didn't wait either. And I'm telling you, you better stay up with him. He'll be gone. So I learned to walk fast. And one of the people at church one day said,
when he got ready to go, you better be in that car.
You better be ready.
He's gonna leave.
And he's not going to wait on you. I'm telling you. Whenever he was in high school, he was in the band all year. He was the smallest kid in the band all 4 years, and he played the largest instrument, which was that tuba bass. Well, we didn't have cell phones back then, and Mother would always know what time to come and pick him up after he got back from a ball game or something from playing. And oh, I couldn't tell you the times that Mother would go and sit and wait on him to pick him up. She learned she had to be there early. She could not be on time. And you know, you never know when those buses get back with all those band kids. Exactly, it won't be the same every time. Mother looked and looked for him one time, and finally she decided she'd just go home because she stayed there for so long. Got home, and my brother had already walked home with that tube of base because she wasn't there early.
So he just took off walking.
He just took off walking. He didn't wait. He did not wait on you. He was gone.
So
Of
Mary,
course,
we got, I'm sorry.
that's all right.
So we got it mixed up. You see how fast that was. It's cake mix, the vegetable oil, 4 eggs, vanilla, and the crushed pineapple. So it smells so good. Can you smell it?
Yes, I can smell it. But I was talking and didn't watch her. Are you sure they caught what you put in there?
Yeah, I just told them.
Okay.
Cake
Well, I was
mix,
talking.
vegetable oil, crushed pineapple, eggs, and vanilla. So we're going to move over here so we can fill up the muffin tins.
I'll be the camera person.
Thank you. And I'm going to make the big ones first, and then whatever's left over, we'll make some little ones. I'm using this big scoop now. Our scoops that we use, our Pampered Chef scoops, are a little bit too small for this, so I'm using this big scoop, and this comes from Sam's. You have these too, Mary, don't
I
you?
do. I sure
And
do.
I'm using just 1 scoopful.
Matter of fact, I called Mindy, my granddaughter, last night, and I didn't call her. I texted her and asked her, does she need some cookie scoops? And I'm gonna give her that one because I have 2 of them.
Yeah, they come to a package.
Yeah.
And actually, would you get a spoon out of that drawer?
will.
I want to take just a little bit out of these.
Because they rise.
Yeah, don't need to be quite this full, and I don't want them running over.
Here.
So,
You want me to take it out, or?
I'll get it.
Okay.
These cups that I'm using are a little bit different than what I normally use. I think they're pretty, and I only
There you go. It came back on.
can't find. So, we got these done here. So now we're going
Anything I can do to help you?
regular
Is
ones.
that just scooping it in there?
Yeah, you can put them in the oven if you
I
want
sure
to.
can. The oven's and what you
Put
got
it
your oven on?
It's on 325. Put that one on the bottom.
All right.
Now, I know a lot of y'all hear me say I don't use the bottom, but these are muffins, and my oven is on 325, so it's not a big hot oven.
You know what, Linda? I was thinking this morning.
What?
Some mornings is harder than other mornings to get up because of your bones, you know, and just not that, just some of them days. And I was thinking, you know what? I need to encourage all you followers that have these aches and pains in the mornings, you know, just go ahead and get up. Go ahead and do your stretches. And
May as well. You're not going to feel any better.
it's not gonna get no better if you don't. And I honestly find that it's better if you get up. Go ahead and get up and stretch and bend your legs and your back and stretches and all that. And it eases some of the pain and you get to feeling better.
You
okay.
do.
I'm feeling fine now, but boy, in the mornings it's not so fun.
Mama always, of course, this is when we were kids, but we woke up. No, I don't want to get up, Mama. What's wrong? Well, I don't feel good. We wouldn't really tell her what was wrong. We just didn't feel good. More than likely, we just didn't want to get up.
Yeah.
Well, get up and get your clothes on and get dressed, and you'll feel better. Get your hair combed.
Are you ready for this one for the oven?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and put
And
it.
you have to turn that one sideways because this has got handles on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to do something I don't normally do. I've got enough here probably for about 1 more cupcake, but I'm not going to worry about doing another pan for just that little bit of batter because it'd probably take more energy to cook it than it would if I just throwed it out. Now, that's not something you're going to see me do very often, but I'm going to do it this time. So,
So now, how long did those bake?
oh, I want to set my timer.
Oh, okay.
For probably about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe 15 minutes. I think I'll set it for about 20 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to move the camera over so when you get them out of the oven.
And because we're fixing to make a glaze, and I didn't get my powdered sugar in here,
Okay.
so I'll have to
All right.
do that. I was thinking about something funny. Every time I think about something funny, I'm going to write it down, and then I don't ever write it down.
I wanted to tell y'all that we have our pink aprons now, and with our logo on it, and have plenty of them if you if you're interested in getting one.
So, and we like them. We think they're real pretty and
I
bright
like
and
these.
cheery.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use a little one of the silicone prep bowls, and I don't ever measure this. As far as me measuring, the recipe tells you what to put on there. What does the recipe say on there for the glaze?
For the glaze, powdered sugar. That's a cream
Right
cheese.
there.
Okay, it's one and a half cups of powdered sugar.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've
That's
got
all
my
right.
books got
It looks like my cookbook's got all the notes and everything on it.
And I'm going to pour.
And a teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay.
Here's the vanilla. And a little juice from the pineapple. 1 1/2 cups of powdered sugar.
I probably could have strained this.
Yeah, I was wondering if you strained your pineapple juice.
I didn't get my strainer out, so I'm gonna try to do it this way.
Well, I love that little strainer that's got the hose in it. You got one of those, don't you?
Yes, I do. This cute little cup here.
I love those
this
little cups
cup.
too. Those little tiny cups.
They're 4 tablespoons. They're a fourth a cup.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
actually.
I know.
Would you hand me a whisk? I think it's in the third drawer.
Okay. Is it?
Thank you. And we're gonna go ahead
And you just do that with the whisk instead of the beater?
I just do this with the whisk.
Because this glaze is kind of thin, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a glaze. It's just you don't want it to be like a frosting. You just want it to be thin. So, and I have extra pineapple juice. Do you keep pineapple juice in your cupboard for like in your pantry?
I do have the little bitty cans.
Yeah, that's what I keep.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to need it for
Right.
cooking
And
a
it's
ham or
such
something.
pineapple juice just flavors a lot of things, you know?
Now you could tell that this is too thick, and I'm going to add some more juice to it.
Yeah.
Because we want it strictly to be like a glaze, and this is not that it would be anything wrong with it, but it's just I want it thinner than this.
Yeah.
And Mary, something I always do.
What? You put a little salt
I
in
always put
Yeah.
a little bit of sea salt, and I love the flaked. I keep this all the time, and to put in icing, it just cuts down a little bit on that
sweetness, yeah.
And I always put it in there. That must be a little piece of pineapple.
Pineapple.
In there. I'll pour the rest of that in there. And if we need more, well, I'll just get a little can out of the pantry if we need more. And what you're going to do, it looks pretty thin, don't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So when they come out, did I set the timer? Yeah,
You did.
When they come out, we're going to just poke a few holes with the toothpick in them.
Uh-huh.
And while they're warm, we're going to spoon this over.
Right. I know.
And just let it soak down in them.
It's so moist, but that pineapple juice, it just goes right down in the muffin.
I want to mention again about about our speaking engagement on February the 27th.
Right,
We've had a lot of people ask us about it.
Right.
Who do they get in touch with? We put the flyer on our page. I've also texted it to several of you, and this was our fault because we said to contact us, but you need to contact the ladies that's on the form. If for some reason you can't read it or you can't magnify it big enough to see it, let us know. We'll make sure that you get the right number. But somebody asked me again last night, did they have to let someone know ahead of time? And you do.
You do.
You have to let them know.
Yeah.
You have to register.
Right.
So, and I understand that, there's always a factor whether or not you're going to be able to come or not, or, if there's a weather issue or something.
Right.
But we are planning. We've already got
Our plans.
We've
We're
already
getting
got plans
excited.
in
We're
place.
getting excited.
We're very excited and thankful too. And also the Okra magazine. We're going to be in the
In February.
February article on that. And do we want to mention this
Well, we
other?
can. I guess it's okay. Yeah.
Mary and I was talking about jooning around. We were jooning around this morning.
We've been flying.
Because we had a live interview with another magazine this morning, and we're going to be featured in that magazine also in February. And that one is Barndominium Lifestyle. The first one was Okra. So we feel very blessed that people not necessarily us, but what we stand for.
Right. It's going to be also on their
It'll be on their
on their
podcast
podcast and their
and on their YouTube
channel. And what do you say?
It's the Barn Dominion lifestyle, and we'll give you more information on that a little bit further along. But that both of them are in February.
Right.
Both of them are in February. Right. So, what else do we have going on, Mary?
Oh, well, we got a shipment of cookbooks in.
We did. In fact, we got 2 shipments of cookbooks in. We got cookbooks everywhere.
All you people, the first ones that got on PayPal, on our website, on PayPal, you should be getting your cookbooks next week in the mail.
And when Mary says PayPal, it's not actually PayPal. It's PinkyMossCakes.com, and your payment goes through PayPal. But
and that's something that we really need to stress from now on, is that when you order it and you want to pay by PayPal, go to our link to pay.
Go to PinkyMossCakes.com.
Yes, because if you go just ordinary PayPal, it doesn't give us an invoice. I think we get the money, but we don't have an invoice on it. So it can cause a little bit of confusion and a lot more work for us.
Oh, and we want to mention too about we've been contacting everyone. We have a list of the people that still have not received their cookbooks. We're sending some more of them out today. I got a message from a lady yesterday, one that I had resent. Another lady that I had resent that was supposed to have been delivered yesterday. So we are resending these cookbooks.
And I'll tell you what, I talked to him at the post office yesterday, and they said they had mail still backed up from December. And he said, the man at the post office said, which we haven't done, they said give them at least 30 days when you're mailing. When we mailed in December, we have to allow them 30 days to get to you. So it was what? It was in December.
Well, some of them are past 30 days.
Yeah, I know.
Because Mary and I are so conscious about this, and we don't want anyone to think that, that you're not going to get your cookbook or, anything. We'll eat the cost if we have to resend them. Yes. Because we don't want y'all to think.
But we also have to have the order number.
Yeah, we got to
confirm that you ordered, and we will replace it because we're just not gonna. We're not that kind of people. If you ordered and you hadn't got your book, we're going to get it to you. And we've been patient, and you've been patient. A lot of you's been patient, but I appreciate y'all followers being patient on the ones that haven't received it. But it hasn't been on our fault. It's been the mailman, but we'll get it right. We're going to make it right.
We sure will. I was thinking about Pinky Paul and Paul Lee. Both of them were not men of big stature.
No.
And you don't hear us talk about our grandpas a whole lot, but they were extremely hardworking men.
Yes,
very hardworking men.
Very dependable.
Pinky Paul by trade was a plumber. And Charles and Edward both learned how to do plumbing from their Pinky Paul. And then he farmed. He farmed, always had something. Even in the winter, he would have winter crops with greens and stuff. And he fished and he trapped. And Mama would take him up to where, at that time, the street stopped. Where University Drive is, there was no University Drive. There was no street that went further than that. And she would take him up there and let him out.
Lana Creek? Was that Lana Creek? Was it Lana Creek?
I don't know. But Bonita. But anyway, there's a couple of
so
creeks.
Them names gets mixed up.
We're going to talk about something else in a minute. But I was thinking about this yesterday when I was thinking about something funny. And she would drop him off, and he would walk miles to check his traps.
Yes, he would.
And then she would go back and pick him up at the end of the day. And Paul Lee, he worked his farm. He had cows, and they grew watermelons, and they just done all kinds of stuff. Just very, very hard workers.
Paul had a dairy farm.
Paul had a dairy farm, a dairy barn. But I was thinking about something that Pinky Paul was a storyteller. And during downtimes when we would be shelling peas or beans, we would go work in the fields, it was truck patches, and then we went real early, and then we come back and we would eat breakfast. He drank coffee all the time, and then we would sit on the porch during the heat of the day and shell peas and beans, and we would listen to him tell
And
stories.
he told us so many stories. I mean, I knew my father-in-law before I ever met my husband from stories that my
Pinky
Paw told us on that front porch. Just funny. It's just things that was just funny, and we enjoyed it.
And most of y'all know that Nacogdoches is our home. That's where we were born and raised. Yeah. It's the oldest town in Texas. We don't live there now. It's about 90 miles from me, and it's about 50 miles from you, I guess, 50 or 60. Yep. But Nacogdoches now for years has had brick streets, and they're very unusual. Jefferson, the town that I live in now, also has brick streets. But back in the day, when Pinky Paw was a young man, these streets were not paved; they were mud, and when it rained, the horses and the mules and the wagons, they would get stuck.
Hitching post.
Yeah. So, and I'm getting my point around, so I know I'm going around the world telling this, but Pinky Paw told us this story. So, he would tell us about this story about Groucho Marx, and we'd say, Edward Earl, he always called us our first and middle name, and he said, Groucho Marx got his comedy act started in Nacogdoches, and Edward said, is that right, Pinky Paw? And he said, yeah, he did. He said, him and his brothers, we had our main street, it was Case and Monk hardware store, and there was an upstairs. Well, at the time, that's where they had these shows. It wasn't a toy shop like we knew when we were kids. This was in Pinky Paw's day. And they had an act going up there, and they had an audience, and it had been raining outside, and this mule got stuck, and it started kicking up and just making all kinds of fuss, and everybody was rushing downstairs to see what was going on outside. Well, Groucho Marx started making fun and cracking jokes.
Is that right?
And people started coming in off the street because it was just a hit. They sang. Him and his brother sang.
Right? See, she remembers things that I don't remember.
Well, that's how he got his comedy act started.
Okay.
And a few years ago, when I was working, I was in Pennsylvania. I was working in Lancaster County, and I went out to a house, and people were always fascinated with my accent. And I don't put on my accent. It's just who I am. That's just how we talk.
Right.
And he was like, he answered the door. This guy did, and he said, well, where are you from, Georgia? And I said, oh, and no offense to my Georgia friends, but I said, oh, come on now, you can do better than that.
You like the best dumb girl.
No, we love our Georgia people. I was just wanting to engage people in talking. So, and I did that a lot of times, if it was Georgia or North Carolina or wherever it was, but we love all y'all. But, and then I said, no, I'm from Nacogdoches, Texas. And he said, where are you from? I said, Nacogdoches, Texas. And he said, Nacogdoches, Texas. And I said, well, that's where Groucho Marx got his comedy act started. He said, get out of here. And I said, no, it's true. And he didn't believe me. So when I left there that day, I got on the phone and I called the Nacogdoches Visitor Bureau, and I ordered him that book, Ghost of Nacogdoches.
Okay.
It's a little paper book that you can get at the Visitor Center. I ordered it and had it sent to him. So the next time I went back to talk to him, he had that book. And I said, I told you that's where they got it started.
I'm telling you, she's got a memory, and I probably was sitting right there on the porch with him. The porch, he had one of them, they call it a settee. They call it a settee. It's a little swing. Pinky Paw would sit on that, and us kids would sit on the edge of the porch, hang our feet off, and just sit for hours listening to him talking. And he chewed juicy fruit gum. He had a mouthful of juicy fruit gum.
He did that after he quit smoking.
When he quit smoking.
Both of our granddaddies smoked for a long time.
Right.
And Pinky Paw quit cold turkey.
Yes,
I mean,
he did.
There was no patches, no
He smoked
anything.
Camels, I think.
Lucky Strike.
Lucky Strike.
He
That's
smoked
right.
Lucky Strike. And back then, they sent the kids to the store to buy them. There was no such thing as carton. And I remember he'd give us whatever it was, a quarter, whatever it was, 15 cents, and all the way to Uncle Fred's store, I'd say, Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike, Lucky Strike, so I wouldn't forget what kind he wanted. And And he smoked for a long time.
He did.
But when he decided to quit, he just quit.
Yeah.
And he would chew a whole package of gum at one time.
Juicy fruit gum. Yep.
And
sure did.
Pinky Ma would find wads of it sticking around the house on a door or something where he would stuck his gum. She'd get so mad at him.
How mean she'd get mad at him. Oh my goodness, and I don't blame her, but as kids, we thought it was funny because Pinky Ma and Pinky Ball was always bickering back and forth, just picking at one another, and that was one of them because of where he put his leftover gum.
They loved each other to
They
death.
loved each other. It was just funny because we lived right there beside them, and we just seen all those things that happen every day.
Pinky Ball drank Coca-Colas. He didn't call them Coke. He called them Coca-Colas. And they were they 8-ounce bottles?
They
the
little small ones.
The little
yeah,
glass bottles.
Small.
He would keep cases of them in the back room.
Yeah.
And on a really hot day, he would go in and open a Coke. You know, he had the bottle openers because they didn't twist off. Right. He would turn that Coke up and drink it with one swallow.
Yeah, I know. And Pinky Ma, she drank the Welch's grape
orange
knee-highs drinks.
And she drank fruit drinks.
Yeah.
Never known her to drink a Coke.
No, orange and grape.
She would drink orange, grape, or maybe peach, but mostly she would drink orange and grape. Yeah. And Pinky Ball would come in there, and Pinky Ball was hard of hearing, and she'd be sitting at her little treadle singer sewing machine, sewing, and Pinky Ball would say, "Mary," that was Mary's named after both her grandmothers.
Yeah.
"Mary, you want a drink? You want a cold drink? You want soda water?" And she said, I reckon so. And Pinky Ball would go get her a knee-high and open.
She wouldn't leave the sewing machine.
No,
she sat right there at that sewing machine.
On end.
All day she sat at that sewing machine.
And Pinky Ball would go out and work, maybe work in the garden, go to the field, and he'd come back 4 or 5 hours later, and her drink is still sitting there. She's drank like one swallow out of it. "Mary, what are you waiting on for it to start smoking?" Because it was so hot.
I told you, they did that. They picked at each other all the time.
It was so funny. It was so fun growing up next to them.
We had a good childhood.
It was really, and we have a lot of fun memories of Paulie too. I may have told this before, but I don't think I have. I was still living in Mississippi at the time, and they would try to, get me back home, and especially anytime they could get me to come back home to visit. So Mama called me. She said, "Paulie and Paul loved to go. He loved to visit his family."
Yes, he did.
And Mom and Paul wants to take a little trip. Paul loved to visit different relatives, and it didn't have to be. It could be distant relatives.
Yes,
he didn't care if they were 4th, 5th, or 6th cousins. He wanted to go see them. And so they said, "We want you to come drive us." Well, Mama was very capable of driving. Yeah. They said, "We want you to come drive us." And I said, "Well, Mama, I don't have the money." "Well, we already got that covered. Molly's she's gonna pay you for you to come down here and drive us." So I drove from Mississippi down there. We made a huge loop. We went to San Antonio, and then looped all the way back up and come through Fort Worth and visit Charles Linnell.
I was living in Houston that time.
We didn't come to your house, did we? And then we come back home. But every day, Molly would give me. Now, this was in the early 70s. It would have been in the early 70s.
That's when it was. I lived in Houston.
They paid for all the food. They paid for the hotel rooms. And, of course, we all stayed in one room. And mom and pop hotels. It wasn't like hotels today. Every morning, Molly would give me a $20 bill.
Oh,
and a $20 bill was
a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. It was. You made $37 a week working all week for 40 hours.
That's right.
So $20 was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was.
And I always felt so bad taking that money from Mom. But I wouldn't have taken anything for going on that trip with them. It was something that I will always cherish and always be glad that I went. I don't think people should ever regret spending time with their family.
No. That is something that money can't buy. Visiting and spending time with your loved ones. I encourage all of you to. Ooh, they're getting
my buzzer's going off.
Okay, that's the ones on the bottom.
But I don't think they're quite done yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at them.
Okay.
No, they're not done yet. I'll set the timer on for.
Okay.
another 3 or 4 minutes. Now these are getting close, but they're not quite.
Well, those on the bottom, aren't they bigger? The first one
They
you
are
did?
bigger.
That's what I
yes.
thought.
I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. You have to be very careful with muffins, and excuse me, Mary,
That's okay.
I'm gonna wash my hands again. With muffins and cupcakes, you do not want to overbake them.
And another thing, I know we talk a lot on this, our videos, but this is really not just a cooking video. That wasn't the purpose when we started this. We are doing a recipe, and we give you the recipe, and we bake and we cook, but we also are visiting with one another. All these things that Linda is bringing up, the memories of our childhood and all that, I don't know why. I won't forget them now, but I forgot them from the childhood, and so it's helping me and to reminisce for our childhood, and I just want to spend some time with my sister, and that's the biggest blessing I get out of these videos is getting to spend time with my sister. So this is not just a cooking show. It's time we're building memories for us and for our children and grandkids, so that they can have something to look back on. So when y'all call this a cooking show, it's really more than a cooking show for us.
Yes, it is, and the kids, we want this to inspire not just our generation, because we've lived the majority of our life. We know that, but none of us know when we're going to be called home. But we want to inspire other generations to make sure that they're not letting life slip by. 10 years goes by, 20 years goes by before you know it, you're 70 years old.
Yeah.
And you think, well, why didn't I spend more time?
Right. Or just take every opportunity you have to build memories with your kids and grandkids and great grandkids, your neighbors, your sister. Just take some time to spend together, and visit.
And we know for a fact that you will not regret having these memories.
Oh, no.
You will not regret them.
No.
But you will regret if you don't have those memories to fall back on. And there's many families that know very little even about their grandparents.
I know.
Because they just never
don't pass it on.
See it maybe once a year or something.
You got to keep passing on what you know, all your knowledge and your experiences, everything. You need to let your kids and grandkids know that. So I think it's important, and then we encourage all you people, our followers, to reconnect with your family and tell your grandkids a little bit about your life. Give them a little history of how you grew up, and so they can pass on to their kids. It's very important,
because it's I think about families that maybe a sibling finds another sibling that they wasn't aware that they had, and then they learn that they like the same things. They might even have the same clothes on and don't even know it.
It's in your genes.
It is.
I tell you what, my mom Lee, what she said. She said that your bloodline, it passes on down. It was an incident about somebody that she knew was fixing to get married, and Ma Lee told me, she said, well, they don't have a good bloodline. And I said, Ma, what do you mean? And she says, well, it's just things that it's just characteristics of their inheritance. Sometimes it's just passed on down, like health or anything else. It passed on through your genes, and so when you're choosing a companion or if you're choosing friends, well, look around at their surroundings, and try to pick out someone that you would be happy to socialize with.
I sound like a little
What
mouse.
are you doing?
This drawer here, don't I?
She's rambling through her drawers.
I should have had these out to start with, but we're almost.
Are you ready?
We're almost going to take these
I made
out.
this cookbook for you. Are you through with the cookbook?
Yes, I am.
All right.
And
This
this
is
pencil
in-
too. If you
In
don't
our
mind, Mary.
old home place. This
This
recipe
recipe is in there.
This recipe is in our
Would
cookbook.
you move that pen
What?
too, Mary?
I sure will.
Because I'm gonna put one
Okay.
pan on your side and one on mine.
Okay.
Because we want to get these. We want to get these. Get this glaze on them out.
Oh goodness, you like to burn yourself, Linda.
I just have a knack of touching hot pans. I just can't help it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take these out. So
So that's our,
you'll see.
that's our muffins. Here, I'll put it over where you can see it. There we go.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you.
I'm just going to push this down a little bit so you can see the muffins. That's a pineapple muffins. Okay, now I'll prick some of them for you. Just take the little cake. This is cake testers is what this is. But we just poke holes in it.
These are perfect for doing that. And,
yes.
We have one. Pamper Chef has one, but I just grabbed the first ones I saw. So.
Just poke holes. And what we're doing, this poking holes, is so when she puts that glaze on top of these muffins, it goes right down in them holes into that muffin. And it really, really makes the moist muffins.
Yeah, you want to do this when this is hot. And
yes.
If
you want me to?
I don't want to burn my bowl, but
okay.
if you want to take a spoonful and start on that pan.
You trust me to go do this?
Yeah.
On the stove. I don't want to mess up my
I
clean
trust you
stove.
completely. We could have took them out, but they're hot, and if you take them out while they're hot, it's gonna burn your.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's making a mess, Mary. It's not you.
I'm not. I really do. Now, this is being honest. I'm not. I do make messes in the kitchen. I clean them up, but I do make some messes because I overshoot my spoon and I misjudge when I'm pouring something, so I'm a little bit messy and a lot noisy. I'm really noisy.
Oh, I want to tell you, last
What?
night, I had a dream last night. I didn't actually,
Did you?
yes, and I dream a lot, but you know how sometimes you just have a dream that you just wake up and it was just so real, you just
Right.
know you were there?
Right.
Well, I dreamed about Mama, and I dream about Mama a lot. I don't dream about Daddy as much, but I didn't ever see, it wasn't like I was sitting there face to face with her, but all her sisters were in the dream, and me and you were in the dream. I don't think Charles and Edward was actually in the dream, but Mama was going on an interview for a job.
Oh, really? Huh.
And all three of her sisters had picked out a dress and ironed it and brought, and none of them knew the other one was doing it.
Huh.
And you know, Mama loved blue, and she looked so beautiful in
Mama's
blue.
mother had the bluest eyes. I mean, they just sparkled.
And they were different shades of blue, and each one of them come in there and hung them on the dresser for her to pick out one of those dresses to wear on her interview. And I was so perturbed because my mama was going to try to find a job. And I turned to you, Mary, and I said, Mary, did you know about this? And you said, no, I didn't. I said, I don't want my mama out there fighting traffic every morning and trying to get to work. I'll give her some money. She don't need to get a job. But what I took out of it, and I did wake up just irritated.
Oh.
But what I got out of it was our mama, and Daddy too, were so independent.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have asked one of their kids for a dime for nothing. They wouldn't have done it. I mean, we had to literally almost, not fight, but in a grocery store when we were trying to pay for something for Mother, because she just didn't want anybody to do anything for her. She wanted to be
Very independent. And
very
our kids
independent.
is that way too.
Yes.
Now, Linda, did I get enough of icing on it?
Yeah,
Do I need to put
think,
more?
I think you did.
I think you're putting more on it than I did. Let me move the camera back over there so they can see what you're doing.
These are
so
bigger.
she put.
I probably put maybe a tape.
So you think I ought to put some more on there?
You see it soaks down in them.
Yeah, I know it does.
And I'm probably put 2 tablespoons on these big ones. That's
Okay.
probably what I put.
All right. Well, I didn't probably put that
Now,
much
you
on
probably
these.
don't need that much on the little ones, but on these big ones.
But they are delicious. Now, Linda, are they going to be able for us to take them out now, or do you have to wait till they cool?
No, we ain't waiting until they cool. We're
All
fixing
right.
each one of them.
Well, that sounds good to me.
Okay, now let me get a saucer.
Okay. we'll be live again around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, it may be after 1.
It may
but
be after. Okay, somewhere between 1 and 1:30, we'll be back on live again, and we're making a homemade spaghetti sauce with biscotti.
That's probably good. Okay, so do you want to swing the camera around here?
I will.
And we'll come over here.
I'll see if I can anyway.
Get a fork and move
We're
this.
we're our producer and everything, baker and okay.
Let's see. Did I turn the oven off? Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So
here's your
give me a fork.
Here, I'll give you the big one.
No, I don't want the big one. I want the little one. All right. So I'm just gonna take my crust off. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
I'll take a little.
I want them to see the inside of it.
See? Am I doing it right?
Yeah. This is one.
That's a
good-
moist cupcake. Mm-mm. That is so good. That is so good.
And like I said, these do not have the consistency of a pound cake. They're extremely light.
Yeah, you have to eat them with the fork because they're so moist with the pineapple.
Now this is something that would be absolutely delicious, not only while they're hot, which they are hot right now.
they're hot. They're warm.
Great with a tall glass of cold sweet milk, or with a cup of coffee. Take in your lunch the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would be really good for a mid-morning snack, or for a kid. You know, when they come home from school and they want something. The recipe is in our cookbook. It's very simple. It's just, and we'll post it. But it's just a cake mix, eggs, oil, pineapple juice, and vanilla, and then make it a little bit of glaze to go on top of it. So,
real simple dessert.
we hope that you'll try this. If you don't like pineapple, you
You could do lemon.
You can do lemon.
Would
And
you use a
using-
lemon cake
you would-
mix?
If you did that, you would want to make sure you use fresh squeezed lemon.
Mm-hmm.
You could do coconut, but if you do coconut, you're going to need to add, instead of the pineapple juice, you would need to add something like cream of coconut, or maybe coconut water.
Right.
But either one of those, cream of coconut is real sweet, but you can use coconut water and put in there for the moisture versus the pineapple juice. So we hope you try it, and we hope you like it, and we thank you again for watching us, and we'll be back live this afternoon with Mary making a really good dish.
Okay. Thank y'all.
We love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.